Hey beer tubers, Ryan back with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me once again. Gonna look at a beer I've been meaning to try for a very long time now, and that is from North Coast Brewing, and this is their Old Stock Ale, the 2011 edition of Old Stock Ale. Now I'm a big fan of old ales, and for some reason I've never gotten around to trying this beer, but it's a big old ale, 11.9% ABV. So I'm looking forward to this one. 2011, you know, at that percentage, probably gonna expect a little alcohol in there, but we'll give this one a go. Oh, I can smell it already. Okay, so color-wise, I'm getting sort of a kind of rubyish red. It's fairly transparent. It looks like they definitely filtered this one. Decent amount of carbonation. The head is fading away quickly. It was about a finger. It's sort of off-white. There's maybe a little bit of like a mahogany in there as well. Let's get the aroma on it. Oh wow, lots of big fruit notes on this one. Some big caramel notes as well. But I get this like a berry note, kind of like a mix between like a raspberry and maybe like a cherry. Kind of has that bright red fruit. Maybe even like some apple in there as well, like red apple. Sweet sort of toffee caramel notes on there. Sort of has some earthiness in there. Don't know where that's maybe coming from. Definitely some breadiness, big bready malt backbone on there. Very malty smelling beer. Very little hops whatsoever. So let's give this thing a try. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's very nice. First sip, coats your mouth big time. Alcohol. Yes, it's there, but it's not overwhelming. There's a lot, the flavors kind of push that to the background. But it is very big. I'm just drinking this one cool to the touch. It's been out of the fridge for, probably at least an hour now. Big sweetness up front. Big caramel notes, follows the nose pretty well. Big caramel, sweet caramel notes, and that fruitiness you kind of get in there as well. Like something you get off, you know, British ale strain. Sort of like that combination of like red apple, maybe marmalade into sort of like a cherry raspberry kind of note on there. Kind of get that big fruitiness midway through. Kind of slightly, I think the cherry, almost like a cherry note's coming out a bit more. Finishes maybe with a touch of like, just a slight hint of like a roasted malt in there, which might be adding to the color, but big like caramel sweetness. A little sticky on the palate. Coats your mouth pretty good. It's between medium full to full bodied beer for sure. This thing actually has quite a bit of carbonation too. I mean, it kind of fizzles away, but I was able to just kind of swirl up a nice head on there. But yeah, you kind of get that carbonation attack on your palate up front, but not too bad. Has a really nice sweetness. But the sweetness is not too lingering. It has a somewhat dry finish. So I'm thinking maybe they're using something like a dry English ale yeast on this, because it seems like it has big kind of fruit esters going on with these big kind of sweeter malt characteristics. But then it's not too overly cloying at the back end. And it's a very smooth drinking beer. I'm really enjoying this one. The more I sip on it, the alcohol does kind of come forward a bit more. But you kind of expect that for a pretty fresh beer at 11.9% ABV. And it's a very big beer. This thing is going to age wonderfully, I'd imagine. It just has that kind of alcohol, kind of sharpness, that kind of on the back of the tongue that kind of prevents it from being like really smooth and drinkable right out of the gate. I think some of these like fruitier kind of cherry notes kind of leads to like a bit of like a sherry sort of port character to it. maybe like some red, some red grape notes in there. This is something I think, give it a few years and it's just going to be utterly amazing. I'm sure all those flavors are really going to kind of mature and combine, and the alcohol will kind of fade to the background even more and just age really nicely. So I mean, at this state, fresh bottle, I'm going to go with an A-. I think it's an excellent old ale that's only going to get better with age. So buy a few bottles, lay it down, maybe try one in a year, see if you can keep one for like 2 years, because I think that'd be pretty prime drinking for this beer. I'm glad I finally tried it. I'm going to have to go buy more and definitely age this one, but I still think it's really, really nice old ale right out of the gate. Definitely one of my favorite kind of styles of sort of that kind of English barley wine kind of category. Sweeter beers, but this one, it's just drinking really nice right away. So it's going to wrap up this review. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.